on to our second video for our YouTube channel and to share some awesome content with you guys in regards to yoga philosophy, and how we can apply it in our life today. I'm Jenny, this is Nancy, and before we begin, let's get grounded. So close your eyes, find a comfortable seat. Maybe mute your phone or put your phone on Do Not Disturb so there are not any distractions. Turn off any electronics, maybe the TV or anything that may be in the background. And we take this grounding practice not only for the side of sharing from our higher spirit, but also in receiving, allowing ourselves to receive the message today. Giving the heart permission to absorb what the message is. And so often we talk ourselves out of receiving. So recognizing that you deserve to be in this conversation. You deserve to not only receive the information, but also respond, to share, to make it yours. Let's take 3 cleansing breaths. Inhaling through the nose. Open up your mouth and exhale. Sift the breath in. And open up the mouth. Once more, deepest breath of your day. And let it out. And blink your eyes open. Once again, welcome to our chat. This week we are discussing our topic, She is Full of Herself. And that was the subject of the email that we sent out this week. I was having a conversation with somebody who is an entrepreneur, and she and I are embarking on something outside of teaching yoga postures. Hers more into the health and fitness world, and mine's more into goal setting. And she and I were talking, and she asked me, Jenny, do you ever feel full of yourself? And what we call that is the imposter syndrome. That comes from that place of feeling like we don't deserve something. So as I just said in the grounding meditation, for us to be open to receiving, because we deserve to receive. And sometimes we can close ourselves off to receiving because receiving a gift or receiving a compliment may feel overwhelming. So when she asked me, do you feel full of yourself? I said yes, but in no. Yes, in that I'm full of the self, and that what I'm sharing is something way bigger than me. Something that I'm sharing isn't something that I came up with. It was something that was planted in me, and for whatever reason on my path and in my journey on this life, I have been prepared and set up for this moment. And that has nothing to do with me, that has everything to do with my higher power. So in that, yes, I am full of myself. I am full of the self, which is something that we talk about in yoga. To find a deeper relationship and a deeper connection to the self meaning Atman or soul or your higher sense of power, whatever you perceive that to be. And the other side of that coin is of the self, of which I don't feel like I am full of, would be that self called the ego. And there's a healthy ego, which I think comes from being spiritually connected to our commander-in-chief. And then there's the ego that festers and feeds off of unhealthy competition, on judging others, or maybe even judging ourselves, being in that imposter syndrome mentality where we talk ourselves out of doing something because we don't feel like we deserve it. And one of the most amazing feelings that I get from practicing yoga, not just the asana on my mat, but practicing the 8 limbs and the philosophy in my life, is that I started to realize, years ago, that I'm not on this planet to be a hamster on a wheel. I made a commitment, I made a contract with my commander-in-chief, to me that's God, to come down to this planet and fulfill something out of love and out of light.
I heard something this week that sort of resonated with me along that line, and it's aligning yourself from toe to soul. And we often talk about grounding ourselves in our practice and being open in our heart. And when we have that inner awareness and alignment, and we are full of ourselves in that positive way, we start sending out some energy that taps into others. You want to be that person that walks into the room and they're like, oh, I'm so glad you're here, versus, oh my God, you can just feel the energy go, wah, wah. It just drops down. But instead that we align from the higher power and what we know to be our own truth, and we use that as a little beacon of light, of positivity, to just connect, to touch, to be that person that walks into the room and you light it up. So it's good to take up space, right? Just like expand your arms, expand your legs, take up the entire room. Hi, Maui, be Maui. And be full of yourself. Aw, she's all right.
She's big and rambunctious. She's happy to be here too. To go with what you're saying, Nancy, I asked somebody not too long ago, I was actually in one of my goal setting camps. I said, do you ever walk into the room and feel like you had to shrink yourself to be around those other people? And we should never have to feel like that. We have these unique qualities, these unique hearts and unique sharings that can light up the room, that can change other people's lives. So if we walk into a room and we feel like we have to shrink ourselves, that's coming from that unhealthy ego, that's coming from that feeling of darkness, and when we're connected to our higher spirit, they carry us from that darkness and into our light. And maybe that group of people aren't our people, maybe that group of people are new people and you are maybe shy or timid to share, but we live in a society now where our story is our power. And I think that's really important to share on this platform, because we don't have to hide behind our stories, because our stories tell about where we are in the moment, and our stories make us the strong human beings that we are today.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just takes that act of freedom or releasing the fear to raise your voice and share your story. You never know who you're going to touch in the room, or who you're going to touch with just sharing your words, sharing your perspective, that it's going to resonate with them, and they look at you. Often when I'm teaching yoga, like, okay, this is the message, that maybe it's something I've learned or it's something I read, and I went, that's cool, I'm going to share it. And it amazes me who walks up and says, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. Thank you so much. So when we have that alignment and we're comfortable with ourselves, we're kind of comfortable opening up and being vulnerable. You never know how you're going to make a difference somebody's day.
And it's like we're all in the same. Like, we all have to do laundry, we all have to clean toilets, we all have to go to the grocery store, we all have to wear masks, wear your mask. We all have to do dishes. We all have these unsexy things about our lives, that we have experienced. But we've also had heartbreak. We've also had rejection. We've also had failure. And failure and rejection and heartbreak are not complete negative things. Yes, they hurt and they sting, but when we share from that place, we relate to others and we become relatable people. And we become relatable people when we share our success stories as well. What makes us feel good, what we do in the morning that sets us up for the day. sharing our meditation practice, sharing our gifts with others. And yeah, so as we continue this practice into the rest of the week or into the rest of our life, notice those moments where you shut yourselves off from receiving from others, whether that be words of affirmation. If someone gives you a compliment, what is it like to say thank you? Instead of like, oh my God, I love your hair too. Like, just stop it right there, stop that. If someone gives you a compliment, just say thank you. And then maybe open to receiving and giving back to yourself. If you see that bouquet of flowers at the store, buy it up for yourself. Treat yourself. Go get a pedicure. Girl, get your hair done. Whatever you need to do to feel good and human. And then notice too, whenever you start to give back, like when you start to fill up from receiving, you start to give back times 10. And when you give back, you can also share with others how to receive. Like, no, just say thank you. Here you go. Here's a compliment. It's free. Take it. Go with it.
Sounds good.
Sounds good? All right. Let's close with a little bit more grounding. So find your comfortable seat. Once again, close your eyes. And as a gesture of receiving, turn your palms up towards the sky. Welcome your breath in how it is without trying to change it. And receiving from this breath. And as we receive this breath, allow it to soften any areas of tension. What is it like for you to receive? I'm going to say some affirming positive words. Feel free to listen or to repeat them back. I receive joy.
I receive joy.
I am abundant.
I am abundant.
I am worthy.
I am worthy.
I receive love.
I receive love.
And bring your palms together and lift your hands to your heart and humbly bow your forehead towards your fingertips, honoring this mind and body connection. Thank you so much for tuning in with us this week. As always, we are happy to share on our platform as well. If you check out our website, link is in the bio. Namaste.
Namaste.